Okay, we have two really huge announcements to make in this video, so make sure you watch all the way through. And I'm gonna give you the dead giveaway hint of huge announcement number 1. So I don't know how observant you guys are when you watch our vlogs, but our house for the past 2 months have been repainted and emptied and boxed up. All our plants are gone, all our decorations and pictures have been off the wall. So it's something we've known about and have planned for a really long time. Whoa, let's talk about it. But first, we eat steak. Here's what you need to know about upstate New York winters. I thought you were gonna fill in the blank.
Upstate New York winters?
Yeah.
They're long.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. They're long. Honestly, what is it? It's like 7 months of winter. Fun, fun. You get a doggy? It is decently warming up. And so we are going to find seashells at the beach because we have had 7 months of cabin fever. Since last week was our year anniversary of moving out here, I watched like our first 3 videos of us out here. And we were like in tank tops and going to the beach and stuff, and then it was like 40 degrees earlier this week. So we don't know what's happening this year. Hi, Grandma. Oh. Okay, you ready? Let's tell them.
We
are moving.
We're supposed to say are moving.
Ah!
Is it any surprise? This is what we do.
It is what we do. We are moving out of state. Look how haggard I look right now.
very unexpected. Was not an easy decision. It still is not easy at all. But
well, it's like who buys a house and then leaves it a year later. So we didn't buy the house intentionally thinking we'd leave this soon, but
we thought we would make a life here and be here for a little while. And
we're
turned
not.
into being here a lot shorter than we anticipated, but
Ben got work.
It's a really good opportunity for not only myself, but I think for our family. For this dog.
I'm glad she's here.
So yeah, I mean, it came with a lot of prayer, and this was not an easy decision, but it was just the right opportunity.
So if you couldn't tell, in the past few vlogs, our house has just
been super clean.
Very clean.
And
boxed up. About 80% of our stuff is boxed up. We painted, we took everything off the walls.
Very minimalist.
We have been living off of
the land.
Basically nothing. And it's been a big headache process to sell the house, to show the house while you're still living in it, because we had to make it seem like no one lived in our house for people to come and see it, even though 4 people and 2 dogs are living in the house. So that was super hard to keep the house spotless for like an entire month, be ready to leave on like a drop of a dime for people to come in and tour the house.
You
and
know,
so we
house selling 101.
I was annoyed. We took a lot of car rides with the kids and the dogs just for like an hour. Sometimes 3 hours. We just had to drive around with the dogs because it was freezing, and what do you do with 2 giant 100-pound dogs? You know what I mean? So that's
Throw them in the trunk.
Okay, should we tell them where we're going?
Well, if you remember, a few weeks ago when I went to Arizona, that was the reason why. So I flew out there, met with a few companies, and was just kind of getting a feel for it and finalizing everything. So it's happening. It's crazy that it's happening, that we're going back to Arizona. But
oh my gosh, I left my soul in Arizona. I'm like elated. Although leaving here and leaving my family has been kind of devastating to a lot of degrees. If I were going anywhere else but Arizona, it would be even harder.
It'd be a lot harder.
But it has been really tricky on us and my family to leave family, especially because I'm leaving again, except this time I'm taking grandkids. And we don't know when exactly we're leaving, but sometime within the next month and a half.
So if you got any connections in
want to help us move in and unload a truck,
Phoenix or even in Tucson, because my work will be both areas. So if you got some people, connections that want to help us out, hook us up, you know, people might have some links.
If you're selling a house out there, let us know.
Or renting.
Yeah, I guess we'll rent. We just want to get out there.
So I get out there. Hit us up.
Also, another announcement. Don't include what I'm about to say. What does it feel like to have a working brain? I don't remember. Let's start this again. This year, in October, there's something being released called Wildly Optimistic. Is that not the coolest title you have ever heard? I wrote a new book. I put my entire soul into this thing. This has been the most stretched I have ever been. I put my entire existence into this thing, and it's coming out. And it's coming out this year. And yesterday, I just gave it to my publishers. It's a month late, but they have it. So I've been in contract to write my second book to come out this year for a long while. And it was really difficult to do because we needed to work backwards. So I needed to come up with the title of the book so we can start, my publishers can start sending it out and reserving my book for the slot for release in fall. And so it was really hard because I needed to name a book that I did not write yet. So it's like, well, how do you write a book if you don't know fully what it's going to turn into and what it's going to be about? And how do you name it without it being like limiting? You know what I mean? That was really hard. But it's actually Ben who came up with the title of my book when we were talking. And he says, I got it. Wildly Optimistic. I'm like, oh my gosh. Could you think of a better theme for me and the things that I'm going to be talking about? Well, maybe you could, but don't tell me about it because it's too late. Wildly Optimistic. It is a book about trials. And the subtitle is actually about gaining new perspective through life's challenges. And so every single chapter is a theme within a trial. So for example, I have a chapter when he is silent, when too much time passes, when it's not what we wanted, you know, and I cover things like, is God really good? And so I talk about pretty much every question and struggle me and I think everyone has ever gone through or thought about when things are so hard and when too much time is passing and we're wondering like, is he really there? And how else can I see this if I can when you don't think he's there at all? Or when you feel like he's not talking to you. So I am just like elated over this. I feel like my whole entire existence here on earth was leading up to this book. And I know that sounds dramatic, but like I mean it. Like it's just, I'm so excited. Part of the reason why I've been MIA for the past like month-ish, especially with YouTube, is because I got my deadlines way mixed up. And so I got an email from my publishers saying, hey, where's your book? It's April, you know, it was due on April 1st. And they were sending me an email on April 7th. And I had only written 3 chapters and I had 14 outlined. And so when I say I didn't exist this past month, even ask Ben and my kids who live with me, I like didn't even exist to them for this past month. You know, there was a few days where I didn't even shower. I didn't even change my clothes because I'd wake up and I'd start writing and then I'd stay in the same spot all day long until well past midnight and I would just write. There's days that I wrote 40 something pages in a day because I had to, like I had to just do it and it was hard. You don't know what your brain is capable of doing until you really push it from sun up to sundown every day for weeks straight. It was like mush. Most days, I honestly didn't know how to have a conversation with Ben because my brain was on just overload. So I still have like a whole long process with this book still, but right now I'm in a season where I can catch my breath and rest and wait for my publishers to get back to me until I start the editing round, which is a long process, just like a lot of back and forth, but like the thing is done. Like, I feel like a new person. Anyways, we still have one giant announcement to tell you guys. Well, whatever. So, maybe we'll say it this week. Anyways, I'll start the music. I'll see you on Monday. If it's true, we have an all-knowing God who makes no mistakes, and he's on our side, then why is it so hard to let go and allow him to take care of us and live the way he wants us to? Why is it so difficult to fully give it to him? Why is it so hard to let God be God? I can think of several reasons off the top of my head, but it all stems down to one thing for me. It could mean uncharted, unmarked, and unwanted paths. It could mean giving up comfort or passions, because giving it to God means an unexpected outcome. If we give it to him, what's he going to do with it? What if we don't like where he brings us? If I were in charge and if things went my way, then I would be able to control unmet expectations and disappointments. I feel safer when I'm in charge of my own life because it's comfortable knowing and being in charge. And with unknown variables brings fear and hesitation, the playground for the adversary. It's true, sometimes, we don't always know the what or the why behind things we're asked to go through. But we do always know the who. And if we allow ourselves to let God be God, then we will find ourselves on the ride of our life, a ride we were always intended to take. And times will come where we'll find ourselves feeling at ease, even among trials. Because from consistently trying to trust, we will have experienced time and time again that we are being led to greater things. Then times will come where the smiles are real and the happiness is real, regardless of our situation. Times will come where the scary and the hard and the unexpected turn into exciting, thrilling new adventures that come with peace, knowing that we are in motion to the best fit blessings.
Oh, you're right. You see the strangest dog in the world. Everyone wave. Say hi, strange dog.
Yeah, Dad.